Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your monthly update actually. As you know, if you've been following my channel for a while, I usually do daily updates for the DF and DM energy with some messages between the twins usually. So giving you some information on what is relevant here and now in the moment, right? With some various deviations depending on certain astrological events or certain focuses that I'm guided to take on a specific day. Today I decided to do a little bit of a bonus. Let's see how it goes. If you guys like it, if it gets a lot of views and likes, I'll definitely keep doing it as a regular rubric. But yeah, I was away for a few days last week and I missed a couple of dailies too. So I decided to do this bonus elemental set of readings for the twins for the month of July. So you know how I do on my other channel, I do horoscopes by sign. Each month I go through all 12 signs to talk about love, career, and guidance from the universe. So I will do something kind of similar for the twins, but I don't have a chance to do all 12, especially because they kind of coincide in time. So if you're interested in a specific zodiac sign, I advise that you go to Mindful Bamboo channel. The handle is in the description box. In the meantime, I will do this set of readings for the twin collective by element. So today I'm doing the reading for the water signs. So that would be Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And yes, it will be both for divine feminine and masculine. So if you, the watcher, are a water sign, you have water in your main placements. We usually cover Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus. Or your person has water in those positions, right? You can watch for those placements, or a lot of times it's actually both, right? So you can actually see the dynamic. I will not do the connection in these kind of readings because obviously it's going to be all kinds of combinations, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to see, for example, how divine feminine water sign and divine masculine water sign will connect, right? It will be a very small part of the collective and it's not going to make a lot of sense anyway. But based on what's going on with you and your twin, even if you have to assess that separately, you can then deduce what, certain guidance, certain traces of what will be happening between the two of you. And of course, you can always turn to me for a personal reading and we'll take a look at your situation specifically. Okay, so what I'll do is, of course, I'll start with an oracle deck. I'll pull some cards for each of the twins, for DF and for DM. And then I'll go into tarot. I have separate deck for each. And for each of the twin collectives, we'll take a look at what will be happening energetically through the months of July. Then what kind of action is being taken in 3D. I call this what kind of changes can we expect, right? Because we'll actually witness them on the more tangible level. And then finally, the third one is what action is being taken towards union, specifically towards the connection. Let's put it that way, towards the connection, right? Okay, let's get to business. It's only been 4 minutes, but because I'm doing this for the first time, I thought that it makes sense to explain. So for the feminines, we have by the book number 11, and let's see what's the bottom. Chop wood number 42. Okay, what do we have in masculines? We have number 32, here and now. Oh, I like that. And all that glitters, number 16. Nice. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. So for the feminines, I'm getting that you may find that certain tedious activities, certain errands take a new twist. You can see new meaning in them. They bring you some new enthusiasm and motivation that you haven't seen before. It's important though to stick to that routine, right? Like, don't try to change something just on the fly just because, you know, change is great. If you are changing something in your daily routine, first of all, remember the best practices, and you can always check yourself whether you're following those, you're doing something completely different, right? And then take an informed decision how you want to proceed, right? So no rush with those kind of changes. For the masculines, I'm getting, it's interesting, would have 16 and 32. So they're exactly like 16 is like halfway through to 32. But 32 is here and now, right? So it's important to focus on here and now. If you're only focusing on what looks good on the paper or in your Instagram posts, it's not gonna do it, right? Like, it will glitter, it will look great, maybe you'll get some compliments, but it's not gonna last. Because A, it's not what makes you happy, and B, if we're actually following this specific saying, that it may not be real anyway. It may be, you may look like gold, but it may be fake underneath, right? So it's important to pay attention to experiences like that, especially if you're doing something, well, these are people-pleasing patterns in general, but if you're doing something to make someone else happy, whether it's your partner, your kids, your friends, your co-workers, or just the wider public, think about that. You know, how is that picture different from here and now, and what's important for you, right? You see this girl in a meditation kind of state, right? It's calling you back into the now to assess your emotions, your feelings, right? What do they mean? Try to understand them, to listen to them and understand them, and then see how specific choices in your life are impacting you that way, and what do you need to keep because it's still relevant here and now, and what needs to be either released or upgraded because it doesn't really feel good anymore. It glitters, but nothing joyful comes out of it. Not for you anyway, right? That's a very important criterion. Okay, I'm gonna use this Fairchild's deck for the feminine energy. So let's see what's going on, will be going on in the month of July from the energetic standpoint, first of all. Wow, we have very different energies here. 5 of Pentacles and the Lovers. Okay, now let's see what changes are coming into the 3D. Ace of Cups in reverse and 6 of Wands. And what is being done towards union by the Divine Feminine? Specifically towards union. Ooh, the Hangman and 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay. All right. So let me unpack that. For 3D, we see how 5 of Pentacles is changing around. Definitely, the Lover's card is bringing in, and in this deck, it's actually connected with angels. It's bringing in hope and understanding why certain things went down a certain way. It's allowing for healing of certain past patterns that brought a lot of heartache or, you know, a lot of trauma, let's put it that way, into the feminine energy, right? It doesn't have to be all the way like from like the love relationships, love partners. It can be from the society at large, it can be from parents, right? Like wherever, and I'm getting this is specifically the feminine templates. Whatever feminine templates have been corrupted, abused, somehow broken by any all of those individuals that you had a loving or were supposed to have a loving relationship with, those will be coming up, obviously in the order of relevance, of priority. And you're not supposed to be rushing it, you're supposed to be facing it with a brave face, right? In July is the month where we're going to switch to the Leo energy, actually, towards the end of the month, but still. And Leo is always asking us to face the challenge, you know, face to face, and be brave and show yourself, and you know, everything is gonna get resolved to your benefit. That's kind of the idea, right? So a lot of opportunities for healing the heart, especially what concerns separation anxiety and separation wound, right? That's like one of the ultimate twin flame topics. Then we have Ace of Cups in reverse and Six of Wands. This is for the changes in the physical, right? So we see certain success, and we see that Divine Feminine is switching her attention from pampering herself, from nurturing herself, towards taking charge and getting to the level of success, whatever that will mean for you in the physical. And that success might come in suddenly, actually, because it could feel like you've been working on it for a while and you almost lost your hope, and then suddenly, bam, it's there, it came in. And maybe it looks a little different, that's why you haven't noticed it, you weren't noticing it until it hit you right in the forehead, right? But it is coming around. Just make sure that you don't, because at some point you may stop focusing on the self-love and unconditional love energy, and that is still really, really important, especially because you're a water sign, right? And that connection to that cup is your essence. Last but not least, what is being done towards union, towards this connection. So it's actually interesting that Five of Cups is here in reverse, because I usually in this deck it actually has a pretty optimistic connotation when it's upright, because the guy is actually holding the two flames out of five and protecting them. But what I'm also getting is that Divine Feminine doesn't want to rush head on to this connection. It's like there is a sudden realization that this chilling in this hangman pose has so much potential for the connection itself, and you don't really need to take action or to actively try to protect your love, or, you know, rush in because there may not be enough time otherwise, right, to connect and to build the relationship. Don't rush. Yeah, that's the ultimate guidance, and that's what I'm seeing. That's what's being done for the benefit of the connection, as much as it will sound forgot my words, it's horrible. Yeah, it may not make sense, because how is it that you're sort of like standing still, but you're actually moving towards the connection? But that's what's happening, because while standing still, there's a lot of healing, and a lot of it is like, I don't want to chase anybody or anything, right? I don't want to be approaching a relationship from the perspective that it's fragile or my person is fragile, so I have to be extra careful, or I will be the one fixing everything. Nope, not today. It's supposed to flow, and the more time you take for yourself to focus on you and to work on yourself, right, for that personal growth, the better it's going to be for the connection. So do not be afraid to step away, step aside, and focus on what you are doing, what is happening in your life. Okay, let's see what we have for the masculine. So first of all, the energetic space. What will be happening in the month of July? Three of Cups. Please clarify. Okay. Nine of Swords. All right. What is changing for the masculines in 3D space? What kind of changes are happening? Ooh. Knight of Wands, clarified by Ace of Coins. Okay, and last but not least, what action is being taken towards union by Divine Masculines in the month of July? Page of Cups. Okay, small romantic gesture. Judgment to clarify. Okay, maybe not so small. All right. It's also interesting that for the feminines, the bottom of the deck was 3 of Pentacles. For the masculines, is 6 of Pentacles. Again, we are going like halfway through and then full on. Very interesting. It's also interesting that actually the masculines have that full on card, the 6 of Pentacles, which is about service, mission, giving of yourself. So yeah, masculines will be also pretty busy. For the energy space, we see 3 of Cups and 9 of Swords. So Divine Masculine is energetically focusing on not spreading their energy too thin, and being able to calm the mind, to find the inner peace, even in the midst of a dilemma, or being stuck between the rock and the hard place, you know, like when it seems like this is third party situation, right? And again, it could be anything or anyone, but when DMs get into those situations, it seems like it gets too overwhelming, let's put it that way, right? It's like too much information, too much going on. So energetically, DM is still gonna be in that space in the month of July. So for the cross watchers, if you're noticing that your DM is not reaching out much, or they seem like they're in a bad mood a lot, that's because they are still going through their cycles of anxiety, of self-sabotaging, and trying to figure out what to do about this, all the parties really. Because I'm getting actually a message that there are open questions around any and all of the 3 parties in this situation. So, you know, they're being solvers, like having that masculine baseline. They're trying to look into it with more detail to see what they can do to turn things around. And with minor arcana here, we can see that it's quite possible. The second part is, so the second question was about the changes in the 3D. So we have the Knight of Wands clarified by the Ace of Coins. Yeah, and I would say that the main change that I see is the masculines have more flair, more panache, more confidence when they're sharing their emotions and feelings. And it will be, to a certain extent, with Divine Feminine, it will be felt even more so with other people, because they will notice the change of how hard it's been before and how much easier it is right now to express their passion, their desires, right? It's like, it's not just like confessing that I'm in love with someone. It's genuinely being open about where you're going, why you're going there, right? Like Ace of Coins is possibly a new business project. So that's what's going to be going on in 3D. But it's important that DMs are embracing this energy of, it's a little bit daredevil energy, especially since we see Charlize Theron here from the Mad Max. But it's like, I don't really care what other people are thinking. I'm just gonna go and do my thing. That vibe. And then finally, we have what is being done towards the connection specifically, and we see Page of Cups clarified by Judgment. So yeah, like I was already saying, there's gonna be some sort of communication, love message, could be some emojis in social media, could be a text message, could be a phone call, right? It could be different things, but don't expect much of it, because Page is not very good with words, with expressing themselves. And not just because they're not good at talking, they don't have that skill, but also because they're shy, they're still scared, they're still kind of like, I'm not sure if you're gonna like what I have for you, right? That sort of idea. And that's why they're not really vocal, but they'd like to show you that they care, that this is important, that they're getting a lot of downloads and information. This is for you, I mean for Divine Feminines. They're getting new insights, they're getting excited, right? So that's what they would like to share. So don't be surprised if what they're gonna share is gonna be entirely about them and some new project that they're starting, which we already saw coming in, or taking care of their health, or finally starting a meditation practice. But it's gonna be pertinent to the union, and that's why it's in that section, because it's bringing them, all these things are bringing them closer and closer to self, to integration points that are important for to come into union with the feminine. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. Please like, share, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you like, what other questions you'd like to get answered next time. This was the reading for the water signs. I will be uploading the rest of the elements today and tomorrow. Bye guys.